The top natural wonders of Africa and the best tourist sites. Many tourists are imposed with the question of where to get the best tourist sites, especially in Africa, where there are vast tourist centers. In this video, we will clear your enthusiastic question by listing the top tourist centers with the best natural wonders or features in Africa. Africa has the world's largest combination of density, population, and variety of free-roaming wild animals. Africa has over 3,000 protected areas, and some of these offer the best places to visit worldwide, which will leave you breathless and in awe of Mother Nature's intricacies, splendor, power, and beauty. Today, we are going to unveil the top natural wonders of Africa, including the 7 unique natural wonders selected. But before we proceed, please, if you are still there watching this video on our channel and found this topic fascinating, hit the like button on your screen. This is the only way we can know you are interested in our contents. Number 1. Okavango Delta. The Okavango Delta lies in the northwest of Botswana and forms part of the Great East African Rift Valley system. There are magnificent, outstanding natural features of the Okavango Delta that made it gain international recognition on February 11, 2013, in Arusha, Tanzania. On June 22, 2014, the Okavango Delta became the 1,000th site to be officially inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List. The true progeny of this oasis in the desert is that the floodwaters appear just when the rainy season has ended, and water and food are becoming scarce in the region. The annual flood truly is the waters of life, resulting in an extraordinary juxtaposition of a vibrant wetland. Diverse and rich ecosystems found in and around the Okavango Delta attract a stunning variety of wildlife. It is the incredible variety and ecosystem of the Okavango Delta that brought the spinning of varieties of wildlife and birds. The giant African wildlife found in the region are lions, cheetah, leopard African buffalo, hippopotamus lechwe taupe, blue wildebeest, giraffe, Nile, crocodile, African bush elephant, cheetah, brown hyena, spotted hyena, greater kudu, sable antelope, black rhinoceros, white rhinoceros, warthog, chacma baboon, and plain zebras, even rarely seen endangered African wild dogs, still survive within the Okavango Delta, proving its suitable and varied ecosystem. The Okavango Delta has become perhaps one of the best places to see wildlife in Africa. Number 2. In the Ngorongoro Conservation Area is located in the northern part of Tanzania and is one of the most visited destinations in the country. The conservation area is part of the Serengeti ecosystem and was established as a multi-land use area where wildlife coexists with the semi-nomadic Maasai, who move from one place to another in search of water and pasture for their livestock. The Ngorongoro crater was created by an eruption that probably took place 2 to 3 million years ago. The crater is famous for being the world's largest inactive, intact, and unfilled volcanic caldera. It extends to about 610 meters deep, with its floor covering up to 260 square kilometers, and is the largest in the world. Its most attractive area in the conservation center spreads over vast expanses of highland plains, savanna grassland, savanna woodlands, and savanna forests, which conserve a biodiversity ecosystem in the Ngorongoro Conservation Area, harbor abundant wildlife animals, including lions, leopards, black rhinos, hippos, buffaloes, wildebeest, zebras, giraffes, elephants, spotted hyenas, cheetahs, warhawks, and jackals, among others. The conservation area is also home to over 500 bird species, ranging from endemic species to migratory and forest birds, which makes it one of the best birding destinations in Tanzania. Ngorongoro Conservation Area is a place with the most rewarding game viewing in East Africa. Number 3. Serengeti Delta. This is another enticing natural reserve that traversed from northern Tanzania to southwestern Kenya. The Serengeti in Kenya, known as the Masai Mara, is an endless plain filled with exhilarating wildlife and the great wildebeest migration. These large herds of animals on the move can't be witnessed anywhere else. Serengeti National Park was one of the first sites listed as a World Heritage Site when United Nations delegates met in Stockholm in 1981. By the late 1950s, this area had already been recognized as a unique ecosystem, providing many insights into how the natural world functions and showing us how dynamic ecosystems are. The ecoregion is divided into several game reserves, and Serengeti National Park in Tanzania is the most popular among them. Besides lions, 70 species of large mammals and 500 species of birds are inhabitants of this great ecosystem. Serengeti hosts the second largest terrestrial mammal migration in the world, which helps secure it as one of the 7 natural wonders of Africa and one of the 10 natural travel wonders of the world. Number 4. The inner Niger Delta, also known as the Makina or Masana, is located within the semi-arid Sahel savanna in central Mali. The area is a floodplain comprising permanent lakes and vast seasonally flooded plains just south of the Sahara Desert. The floodwaters come primarily from the Niger River, its main tributary, the Banya River, and much smaller and temporal streams that flow down from the Dog Island Plateau. Rains fall on the Niger's headwaters in the Falde-Jailin highlands of Guinea from May to September, creating a flood surge that reaches the inland delta in October. The flooding extension varies from year to year. This great green oasis on the edge of the Sahara Desert, a region of seasonal wetlands, is not only an important hotspot for up to 4 million waterbirds, but also makes a critical contribution to national food production. The delta supports 2 of the largest known breeding colonies of herons, long-necked freshwater birds, and coastal birds in Cormorants, Africa. Also, 5,000 garganys and up to 200,000 northern pintails use the delta during the northern winter, along with large numbers of ferocious ducks, white-winged, tern-ruff, black-tailed godwits, and other water birds. Total bird numbers can reach over 1 million in suitably wet years. Number 5. The Sahara Desert is the 3rd largest desert in the world and also the hottest. Apart from the deserts of Antarctica in the northern Arctic, the Sahara Desert covers the majority of the northern African continent, with an area of 9,200,000 square kilometers. Sahara is the Arabic word that means the greatest desert. The geographical temperature of the Sahara Desert is always the hottest in the world, receiving 79 inches and 3.9 inches of rain each year. The desert plains are filled with dunes as tall as 590 feet, sand seas, gravel plains, stone plateaus, and dry valleys, salt flats, mountains, rivers, streams, and oases. There are also underground water sources called aquifers. They sometimes reach the surface and form oases. Some of these are the Siwa Kufra Timi Mount and the Bahara, but they are only temporal. The only permanent river in the Sahara Desert is the Nile River, which crosses the Sahara and empties into the Mediterranean Sea. Goats and camels are the most common domesticated animals in the Sahara. Several species of fox in the Sahara as well as antelope. The gazelle, cheetah, monitors lizards, sand vipers, and wild dogs, ostrich, and among others. Number 6. At the Red Sea. The Red Sea is a narrow inland sea between the Arab Peninsula and Africa. It extends southeast from Suez, Egypt, initially as the Gulf of Suez for about 1,200 miles to the Strait of Mandab, which connects with the Gulf of Aden and then with the Arabian Sea. Numerous commercial endeavors and industrial developments are also carried out by nations that are located along the Red Sea for the exploration of oil and natural gas deposits. The unique coral reefs of the Red Sea also serve as rich sources of medicine and natural products. Number 7. Nile River. The Nile, known as the father of the African river, is the world's longest river, stretching approximately 6,650 kilometers from its sources in blue and white to its mouth at the Mediterranean Sea. However, there is some debate over this title, though some scientists argue that the Amazon River in South America is longer. The Nile flows from south to north through eastern Africa. It begins in the rivers that flow into Lake Victoria, located in modern-day Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya, and flows through the territory of 10 countries and ends up in the Mediterranean in the so-called Nile Delta. In this last one are the Egyptian cities of Cairo and Alexandria. The Nile has multiple points of origin, but its major sources are the White Nile, which begins at Virginia Lake Victoria, and the Blue Nile, which begins at Lake Tana in Ethiopia. The Blue Nile is the source of most of the water downstream, containing 80% of the water and silt. The White Nile is longer and rises in the Great Lakes region. It begins in Uganda Lake, Victoria, Uganda, and South Sudan. The Blue Nile begins at Lake Tana in Ethiopia and flows into Sudan. From the southeast, the two rivers meet at the Sudanese capital of Khartoum. The Nile River plays an active role in the economy of Egypt. The Nile River is also home to wonderful wildlife, including hippopotamus, crocodiles, mondars, lizards, lungfish, Nile perch, turtles, snakes, hippos, and other fascinating wildlife. Number 8. Victoria Falls. Victoria Falls is located on the Zambezi River, the 4th largest river in Africa, which is also defining the border between Zambia and Zimbabwe. Victoria Falls is one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, with the greatest attractions in Africa and one of the most spectacular waterfalls in the world. The waterfall was named after Queen Victoria by Scottish explorer David Livingstone. However, the locals call it Mosi Owatani, meaning the smoke that thunders. Devil's Pool. The waterfall is a World Heritage Site filled with breathtaking wildlife like sable antelope, zebra, giraffe, waterbuck, and kudu, amongst other smaller species. The Zambezi River is known for its bream and tiger fishing at the Victoria Game Park. Elephant, lion, buffalo, leopard, and white rhino birds of a land can be seen in the park. Number 9. Mount Kilimanjaro. Mount Kilimanjaro is a dormant volcano in Tanzania, rising majestically about 4,900 meters above the African plains and 5,895 meters above sea level. Mount Kilimanjaro is the tallest mountain on the African continent and the highest freestanding mountain in the world. The most recent activity was about 200 years ago. The last major eruption was 360,000 years ago. Mount Kilimanjaro is engraved with vast ecosystems: rainforest, heath, moorland, alpine desert, and an Arctic summit. True African elephants, elants, Cape buffaloes, bushbucks, dik-diks, also with over 178 species of birds, especially avian species. Number 10. Last but not least on our list of the top wonders of Africa is Masai Mara, an area of over 1,510 square kilometers, 583 square miles, of preserved savanna wilderness in southwestern Kenya along the Tanzanian border. It is a large national game reserve in Narok, Kenya, adjacent to Serengeti Park in Tanzania. Masai Mara is one of the most famous and important wildlife companies. In conclusion, it could be monotonous if we continue to emphasize the vast features of these miracles of nature. But we believe that with our previews above, you will no longer be confused about which tourist site to visit. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to drop your comments below and also subscribe to our channel, Good Morning South Africa, so you don't miss out as we upload more fascinating facts on all you need to know about Africa.